Welcome back to this week's episode of the Hoggie Shuffle. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff this week. Biggest thing, though, is I want to say shout out to all the fans out there. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys commenting on the socials and all the shorts, everything like that. It means a lot to see you guys out there interacting. It just it helps build us up what we're trying to do here and shine the light on the offensive line. So without further ado, introduce myself. I'm Preston here. I'm the host, and we got co-host Robbie.
Hello.
We're just a couple of brothers that get on here every week, and we just talk about football. We like to highlight the main offensive line guys. I'm going to turn my gain down a little bit. That's aggressive. We're going to highlight the main offensive line guys. We want to make sure that the O-line feels the love, It's a big thing for us. A lot of the offensive linemen don't get the love out there. They ain't getting the tackles. They ain't getting the sacks. They ain't getting the touchdowns. But you know what? O-line's making the plays happen.
Oh, buddy, without the O-line pitch your tent, you're done.
100%. So this week, something I want to talk about every week going forward is I want to do a little coach's corner. You want to talk about slide protection this week. We're going to hit some wheel of teams again. This week we're going to talk about best run blocking offensive line out there who can really just lay the hammer down and keep it going.
Honest, that's the biggest, baddest guys out there, the guys who can run block.
Oh, yeah. I want to see guys that come down and block a safety. What the coach, I always see some coaches that say it best, you don't strategize to block the corners. You leave them open. You want to have the best guys, your safeties, to come down and block. Let those corners have those open field tackles and see what happens. After that, we're going to go into underrated big guy spotlight. We got two more guys we're going to talk about this week. A couple flags on the play. I want to bring that back again. A couple controversial takes. Those ones aren't specifically offensive line takes. Those are just some crazy stories right now that I'll be reading online, reading in the NFL, and just they're a little wild to me, a little cuckoo. After that, like we said last week, we are going to talk about the Pouncey brothers. I thought they were a really good duo out there, especially me and Rob being brothers. It's something that's fun to talk about as well, too.
Sure.
And then we'll hit a bit of wrap up and just some quick hits, a little bit of fan comments, and just kind of go from there. We had a little bit of heaters in the comments on last week, so I want to chat about those and just express our opinions, see where we're at. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to have the Coach's Corner.
Coach's Corner.
We got a lot of young guys watching the show nowadays, and so I think it's important to have a little Coach's Corner every week and just, chat about stuff. This week we're going to talk about slide protection. So, I want to talk about one of the most underrated concepts in O-line play, which is slide protection. You hear about it all the time during broadcasts, but no one really explains what it actually is.
Yeah, just like they say, nice slide by the line. Like everyone's supposed to know what that means. It's pretty tricky. Slide protection. Let's break it down. Slide protection is basically when linemen are moving from one direction to the next, all staying in line and moving in unison.
Exactly. Like instead of each guy locking onto a defender that's in front of them, like man protection, they're going to cover gaps, zones, on one side. Think of it like a wall shifting sideways that's going to be absorbing the wave, coming right across.
Yeah, generally there's two types of slide protection. There's the full slide and there's a half slide, right? So basically, one way you'll shift one way to cover the blitz, and on the other side, the other guy's going to cover the edge. And you're banking on your running back or your tight end, whoever's going to handle everybody else on the outside.
And yeah, like the half slide kind of gives you a mix. So let's say like the left tackle and left guard slide, but the center and the right guard and right tackle stay in man. It's more of a balanced approach. It works really great against, your modern stunt fronts or any sort of twists happening at all.
You've seen the Eagles do it pretty much the entire season. They had to with losing Jason Kelce, that pivotal point in the middle. When you lose a guy like that, you're going to have to, go over and against, like when they played the Cowboys. I want to say it was week 6. That was like their whole game. Slide one way, slide the other way, and just using Goddard or whoever to get Micah Parsons wherever side he was on.
Oh, especially when you go against a guy like Micah Parsons, you have to use slide protection. You have to use those things. And the Niners, they did the same thing against T.J. Watt. They slid towards Watt's side. They dared the Steelers to beat them elsewhere. And, Trent Williams barely let Watt breathe in that game.
Here's the thing. Slide protection doesn't always get the job done. It's got to depend on personnel, who you're playing against. Me, I'm a man blocker. I'll always want a man block no matter what I do.
Always.
But it's really hard to pick up the delayed blitz sometimes when you're using that slide block.
Oh, 100%. Like if your backer or your tight end misses their guy or gets beat, like you're toast. Especially if the quarterback's waiting for that deep shot and you don't have that protection coming from that side, it's not going to be very good.
When it works, it works. Like when it's working, you're working. And it doesn't matter who you get. You slide, and your backside guy. Like you got Gronkowski in there just wiping guys. Like I seen one Gronkowski just wiped out Terrell Suggs, and Terrell Suggs was so pissed. He came back and he got him good.
Oh, 100%, man. And that's why coaching matters. Recognizing defensive fronts, calling the right slide direction, trusting your line to communicate with each other. It's beautiful when it works, because I promise you, if it can work and you communicate properly on the offensive line, whoo, that slide protection is nasty.
My guy Maxx Crosby hates it.
Oh yeah, it is beautiful when it works, but I'll tell you, it is equally as ugly when it doesn't.
100%.
And so, the biggest thing with that, guys, going into it is just make sure, trust your coach, trust your guys beside you. If you're playing 9-man, you're playing 12-man, you're playing American ball, you're playing 11 guys out there, you're going to have 5 guys, you're going to have 3. And at the end of the day, trust your slide, trust where you're going. It's all going to work out if you do it properly.
100%. I mean, you got to think, if you don't know what we're talking about, take the words down, write them down, type them out, put them on your phone, Google it. There is so many drills and tips online for you young guys out there to learn things outside of being at practice with your coach.
Exactly. And a big tip you can do is you can also watch NFL games 100%. During broadcasts, just understand the game and just watch it a little bit. And it makes it so much easier. If you're watching film, you can really understand, seeing where you're going, and, watching after your games, we're always going to post that kind of stuff on the systems there, and just check it out. Make sure you're getting better. Every time you watch film, you're going to get better.
I mean, you look at the big guys that use it, like a Kyle Shanahan's offense, and he's always, half sliding to be prepared, and you got Williams on the outside. I mean, when you got Williams on the outside and your slide protection,
helps so much.
I watched a clip of him the other night, and he is backstepping, so he's a slide protection. But when they talk about you keeping your center of mass over your front foot so that you can step back, he had all 350 pounds of him sitting on that right foot, and he was still whooping Micah Parsons' ass. Micah Parsons couldn't do anything. He was there the whole time. If he crossed his face, he'd have locked him up.
Well, even the Bengals use it. I think, what was it, week 11? They used lots of right side protection last year. So when you can hit that slide protection out, you can seal that inside. It makes a whole difference. When they don't see it coming, they don't think the guard center is coming up to block the end. It makes a huge difference. All right, so the next segment we're going to do is our underrated big guy spotlight. This is something where we're going to talk about every single week. We're going to pick a couple guys. I'm going to talk about one, Robbie's going to talk about another, and just overall hype up these younger guys, these guys that sometimes they aren't younger, sometimes the veterans as well too, that just, sometimes they just need a little bit of love, we're here to give it to them. So first guy I want to talk about is going to be Colton, I'm going to butcher this one, McKivitz, I believe is how you pronounce it. He's a right tackle for the Niners. He's about 6'6", 300 pounds. Dude is a monster. So, it was tough. Obviously being overshadowed by Williams on the left side is a tough one. But, he quietly held it down the right tackle spot. And, it could honestly be Super Bowl contenders if they get the right positions in. He took over full-time about 2 years ago in 2023, and he's shown really steady improvement, playing over 1,000 snaps in 2024.
I mean, he's got to be some kind of good if he's blocking for number 23. And I'll just leave it.
Exactly. Leave it at that. Right? And if you look at his stats from last year, he had 29 pressures, 3 sacks. He only had 2 penalties. PFF pass block grade of about 74.6 and played 17 games. Sound technique in his pass sets. He rarely gets beaten clean. He plays with strong leverage. He's got a motor, so it's ideal for Shanahan's offensive outside zone scheme they like to run. He's smart and reliable. He gives Purdy lots of time on the right side without failure. So he's likely to remain the starting right tackle for the deep playoff push that they're going to run on. Hopefully we can beat him in the NFC Championship game. I'd love to see the Eagles back in that game too. But with more eyes on Purdy and McCaffrey, McKivitz quietly becoming one of the most valuable non-name linemen in the league. He's one of those guys where he's not talked about by anybody because, again, they have Trent Williams on the other side. So when you have that kind of veteran out there, you have that dog, you don't see a lot of hype, a lot of love going towards him.
Yeah, definitely. I talk about Trent Williams like he's a god out here because he is a god among men when he's playing in the league. So, all right, who do I got? I got Daniel Brunskill, right guard, Tennessee Titans. And I think Tennessee Titans are going to have just an absolute breakout season this year, just so we know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Daniel Brunskill measures up 6'5", 300 pounds. So, he's a pretty big right guard.
Oh.
6'5" for a right guard, that's pretty tall. He's a quiet veteran presence on a rebuilding Titans offensive line, known for his versatility. He played all 5 O-line spots. He has settled in as a steady, mistake-free right guard. Let's check out those stats. Okay, so 2024 stats go as followed. Pressures allowed, 18. 1 sack allowed. Penalties, PFF grade, 77.1. Games played, 17. So, that's not terrible. It's not what we want. if we were picking our top 10, but I mean, he's climbing the ranks. He's a veteran, so I mean, he's got to get better sometime, right?
Exactly.
He's extremely smart and disciplined. He knows what to do, when to do it. Rarely flagged, rarely fooled, draws tons of penalty flags against the other team. He's an anchor. He's a power rusher. He pushes. He can recognize the stunt. He's got one of the lowest pressure ratings allowed among all right guards in 2024. So, as I said, pretty decent. We'll look for 2025. Could be stabilizing as a veteran pretty much they got a lot of young O-line coming in. If the Titans take a step forward, I believe it will be a big part for him. The reason why they pushed so big and make a big push.
But he's probably not going to get the credit.
Probably not.
Alrighty, so the next thing we're going to hop into, guys, is the Wheel of Teams.
We're
back.
Teams.
So this week, Wheel of Teams, we are going to mainly focus on the best run blocking guys we can find. Who has the best run blocking ability, who's coming downhill, hitting them backers, hitting them safeties, just overall making a mess. So, without further ado, time to spin it.
Here we go. Who's first, me or you?
You go first this time.
Ooh,
your choice. You can pick.
Ooh, you know who I'm going with. I know it's going to be tough, like you just said, but I'm going with my guy, Trent Williams, because I know he's a lock. Left tackle, gone. Chirp me if you want to. The guy might be old, but he is still the monster he always was.
Alrighty.
I like that your choice. I didn't see it in there last time. All I seen was the Colts. Ooh, Rams.
Los Angeles Rams. Tough one. Let's see here. I picked back-to-back. No, I got to pick a different guy this time. I picked Kevin Dotson last week. Let me go with left tackle, Alaric Jackson.
Left tackle, Alaric Jackson.
Alrighty. Nice.
What do I got? Philadelphia Eagles. Ooh, I'll go with Landon Dickerson, left guard. Dun, dun, dun.
I tell you, and we're going to talk about it later in the podcast, but the fact that you just have something against Lane Johnson, I'll tell you.
I don't have anything against him. I just really like Landon Dickerson. This is an offensive line thing. When you match up and you see how a guy plays and he plays like you played, that's the guy you like.
The dude's name has literally paved the lane.
I like him. I do like him, and I might have only picked him because somebody complained about it in the chat.
Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona. Okay, here you go. We got some choices. There's some good ones.
I got my left tackle already, so I'm gonna go with. Well, I'm not going to try and pronounce that name. I'm going to go with Jonah Williams, right tackle.
Jonah Williams. I'm starting off pretty strong here. Sounds like I'm going to win again.
If you had Lane Johnson, maybe, but
I'm going to get the Eagles again. Don't you worry. Oh,
I thought you were going to get pooched on the Giants. That's not bad, though, the
damn
Niners.
It. I already picked the Niners, though. I will choose. What do I got? Left tackle, left guard?
You got a left tackle and a left guard so far.
Ugh.
They got a good right guard in Dominic Punny.
I'm going to go with Dominic Bunny, right guard. Do.
All right, here we go.
No, I made the losing bill. It's like, one up.
Gosh, darn
come
it.
on, the Giants. Oh, coach will be loving you right now.
Oh.
Come on, make old coach.
Make him bleach in my eyes.
Make him proud. Ooh.
Oh, garbage.
Yeah, I'd say.
I'll go with...
Van Rotten's probably your best.
Yeah, that's my best bet. It's Greg Van Rotten. And he's rotten because he plays for the Giants. 2 thumbs down.
All right, big pick number 4 for me here. I need somewhere good.
Sort of you Giants fans out there, but I'll tell you, I'm very biased.
The Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills.
Take.
So far, you've picked right. You picked a left tackle, left guard, and a right guard. So you can need a center or a left tackle.
Give me Spencer Brown, right tackle. All right. What's P getting? Number 4. Here we go.
Okay.
Spinny. Ooh, Detroit Lions. We knew he's taking.
Nice. That's a good one. Oh, that leaves me with a left guard off the team, so I'm going to go with Graham Glasgow.
Ooh.
Glasgow.
That's that pick. I'm looking pretty healthy now. All right, last pick here. Big money, big money, big whammy.
Second here. Alrighty.
Just copy and paste it. Ooh, the Los Angeles Rams. Didn't I already get them?
No, I didn't.
I need a. What do I need? A center?
You need a center.
Oh, Coleman Shelton it is. You got to knock this pick out of the park.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good one. Come on, Philly.
Oh, man, I was hoping you were getting back-to-back Giants.
Oh, buddy, you wouldn't want to see that happen. See a punch through the screen. And I get to take, who do I need? What is it, a left guard? So far, I've got a left tackle, got a right tackle, I got a right guard, I got a left guard. No, I need a center. Got Jake Brendel at center.
Survey says.
Okay. So, after looking over it, it's not too bad. I think we're pretty evened out when it comes to our ratings on the guys.
Yeah, we're pretty even. I think it's a tie this week.
I think the only thing you have is the Trent Williams really takes the cake. So I think I'm gonna give you the plus just because Trent Williams. If I had got a little better tackle out there, maybe a Lane Johnson or Maliata, I could have made a bit of a difference there. But I'll take what I got. Next time maybe I get a Penny Sewell. Next time I get a guy.
Come on, I got Landon Dickerson, baby.
But you would have been an instant win without a shred of doubt, having Trent Williams and Lane Johnson and over Maliata.
I'll tell you what, Trent
say
Williams and Landon Dickerson on the left side, that's pretty gross.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. He's a dog. He's a great player. But like I said, they literally call him Pave the Lane for a reason. The dude is an absolute monster.
All right, what's up next?
All right, guys, so the next segment we're going to run to is the flag on the play. So, first one I'm going to pull out here, I'm not going to lie to you, it's a little biased. I'm going to let Rob take the second one because I know he's got some good comments on the second one, but the first one for me is that, I've seen a lot of posts out there, a lot of comments. There's a lot of delusional Dallas Cowboys fans out there, and the quarterback himself, who, the Cowboys, they still act like they have a dominant offensive line and a Super Bowl level quarterback with Dak Prescott, and preparing to pay Dak like he's Patrick Mahomes. And I'm telling you right now, that's a 15-yard penalty on the franchise right there. That is absolutely ridiculous that you're going to give this guy. I think he's one of the guys that are making the most money possible in 2025 this season.
He's top 3 for sure.
Right? And here's the reality. Here's the O-line reality check. Tyron Smith, gone. He's retired. Right? Zach Martin, gone. He retired. They lost both the pillars of their offensive line with no true replacements. Their 2024 pass block ranking was 23rd in the league out of 32 teams. I mean, that is not great. Then you go to Dak's mega payout dream. I mean, Prescott's extension set him up for the highest, around $60 million APY, currently the highest paid quarterback contract. And he's confident that he'll get it done. He's freely talked about chasing a title, but is paid more than Mahomes despite not a single NFC championship in all 9 seasons he's played in the league.
And he's got to play Washington, and he's got to play Philly twice, and Washington twice.
Right, and I'm out here, I get it, I'm an Eagles fan, I'm a little biased when it comes to it, but I mean, his campaign in 2024, a 3-5 finish and a hamstring surgery that was a disappointing 86% passer rating. I mean, he has 11 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in those games. Not a playoff breakthrough. When your O-line is issue persisted, it's just not going to be good for you. So honestly, the Cowboys fans, grab your flags because Dak's still living like it's 2016, acting like their trench unit's elite and their quarterback Super Bowl ready. Like he said he doesn't play for the money, but with a $60 million APY, like deal in the horizon, like the math's paying him. Like he's definitely making the money. So not playing for the money, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like that, like I said, that is a flag on the play, 15-yard penalty, franchise wide for delusion and cap disregard.
Give me Tony Romo
Like, let's
back.
be real. Let's be real. Until they fix the trench mess that they got, that mega Dak deal just deepens the problem
100%,
all day long. All day.
Now, my flag on the play is a little more controversial. Some crazy stuff happening in Cleveland. And we want to know what you think about this. The Browns are out here acting like the headline by Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, and a fifth-round rookie, Shedeur Sanders, is the future. Is he? The same? I mean, you got Flacco, we know Flacco can still get it done. Like, he got it done in Cleveland 2 seasons ago. Last season went to the Colts. He looked great. I thought he did. Like, in my eyes, he'll be the guy going next. He'll be the guy up first, I think.
But he's 39. You know what I mean? Like, he's old now at this point. Like, that's pretty old for playing in the NFL.
It's never impossible. I don't think that it'll ever meant to be a long-term thing. But, I mean, what's the buzz right now? The buzz right now is that Shedeur is the solid number 2 at Browns camp right now as we speak. Excuse me, got itchy. You know, this isn't the first quarterback competition this year in the NFL. I mean, let's throw it on the wall and see if it sticks. I'm going to quote an article here. Cleveland might even try to sneak Flacco through waivers to stash him on the practice squad. Now, for me, that's a little crazy to think that, you're going to take a guy who, starting week 1, you got Pickett, you got Sanders. I mean, I'm picking Joe Flacco to start week 1, hands down, all day long.
100%, all day long.
I mean, like, Kenny Pickett is a Mitch Trubisky 2.0 when he was in Pittsburgh. And, I mean, he managed a couple games in Pittsburgh, and I'll say managed a couple games because that's pretty much what he did. And, I mean, let's be honest. He got to go into the Philadelphia Eagles, and he couldn't even let the ball go when he threw it.
Couldn't even beat the Cowboys.
But, you know what I mean? He tried to throw the
Cowboys.
Ball. Shedeur Sanders, coming up, promising 5th-round guy. Like, I'm putting him at 2, and if Flacco can't make it done, I'm giving Shedeur the first go. I mean, because if he can do it, they'll be the Messiah, right? Like, let's
100%.
not pretend this is a Brady Garoppolo thing. You know what I mean? Like, and Jacoby room. Like, it's not that. It's a massive flag on the play to not think that Shedeur Sanders, out of all your guys, is going to be the number 1 guy down the field. You know what I mean? With development, I think he's going to be good. But I do think my flag is going to be, loss of public credibility. You're going out there and you drafted a guy that should have been drafted in the 1st round, and somehow you got him late in the 5th. So, I mean, that's my number 1. And my next flag is, who's going to develop him? Is it going to be Flacco? Is it going to be Pickett? Where are we going with this? Like, the fans want to know. The fans want to know, where's our stability? We deserve stability. Like, we want to know what's going on here.
100%. And, I think it's a big deal, right? You look at guys where, was he really supposed to be in the 5th round? No, he's going to be a dog. He's going to push through, but I think he's the kind of guy that he's not just a week 1 starter. He's a guy that needs to develop properly. He needs to understand the ins and outs of the NFL, and he really needs to, make his place there and realize what he can do and where he can do it.
100%. Like
I seen,
go ahead.
I seen a lot of videos where I think he was dancing with in front of Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco was like, I think this one quote, he was saying, like, I don't get these young guys that are doing these dances, that are doing this stuff. Like, it's embarrassing. But here's the thing about the new generation. They wear it on their sleeve. They don't have embarrassment. Right. They don't care what people think about them. They're out there. They want to be themselves. They want to be free. They want to do what they want to do. And that's the new generation for it. Not saying, unfortunately, not the word to put it, but, realistically, it's a good thing to see these young kids able to express themselves and have fun and do those things and not feel like they're getting judged by everybody out there or feel like they can't be themselves,
100%. I just have one more little touch. I was going through some clips and videos the other night, and I stumbled upon this one. This one's a 15-yarder plus a 15-yarder. Unnecessary roughness, roughing the quarterback. It was top 25 best players of all time. And the disgusting amount of quarterbacks and running backs that were on that list, there was not one O lineman. Not one. Lawrence Taylor was on the list, but no O lineman. So you just think about that. You hit me up.
And that's ridiculous. You think about the monsters that are out there too. Like how many guys that the Larry Allens of the world, the Trent Williams of the world, the Lane Johnsons, the Alan Fanecas, the Joe Thomases, the Andrew Whitworth, the Pouncey brothers. I mean, you're telling me not one of those guys?
There's so many, and you're going to sit here as a football fan and tell yourself that a running back is on the list before an offensive lineman, because if that offensive lineman wasn't blocking the defensive lineman, man, running back ain't doing squat.
Nothing at all.
I had to get that out there. I want some comments on that one.
Oh, you better be. So the next segment we're going to roll into, we talked about this last week a little bit. A couple of brothers out there that played in the league, retired now, bit of a crazy backstory. And so I'll tell you right now, they're identical twins. So you got Mike and Marquise Pouncey.
What they play?
They both started at the University of Florida. They were right guard and center, respectively. They helped lead the Gators to the 2009 BCS National Championship, playing side by side with the postseason win over Oklahoma. And I'm telling you right now, that was a crazy team. Who's the quarterback? They had
Team Tebow.
What did they have? They had Tebow.
Had what's his name there? The old murdery.
Gonzalez. They had Aaron Hernandez.
Sorry, Gonzalez.
Aaron Hernandez, right? Like, I mean, it was a pretty crazy squad. Yeah. Like, there were so many monsters on that Gators roster, man. Like, pull it up here.
I'm trying to think of who they had some dogs on that team.
I'll tell you right now. So, these are the NFL players they had. Sorry, I was incorrect. So, Tim Tebow, quarterback. Yeah. They had Jeff Demps. They had Chris Rainey. They had Mike Giselles. They had Brandon James. They had Riley Cooper. They had Deontay Thomas. They had David Nelson. They had Aaron Hernandez. They had Marquise Pouncey. They had Mike Pouncey. They had Caleb Sturgis. They had Jeremy Cunningham. They had Carlos Dunlap.
They had Greg
They had
Olsen
Jester
too.
Tattoo. I don't think that year. Let me just see. I'm going down. Don't worry, I'm going down. They had Lenny McCoy, Janie Jenkins, Brandon Spikes, Joe Hayden, Jonas Jenkins,
Joe Hayden,
Josh Evans, Will Hill, Chaz Henry. Like, all those guys made the NFL. Think about that. All those guys I just named made the NFL. That's absolutely crazy that you had a team of dogs that, like, what's the stats? Like I think it's like 2% of college football players in Div 1 actually make the league. So to have all those guys off one team end up making the NFL is absolutely ridiculous.
That's crazy.
And, the Pouncey brothers, if you look at them respectively, they're 6'5", 6'4", right around 300 pounds. Mike played 10 seasons. Marquise played 11. What was it? Mike was a 4-time Pro Bowler. Marquise was a 9-time Pro Bowler.
I mean, one went to the Steelers, one went to the Dolphins. So, let's be honest. That's a big reason why one seems to be a little bit better than the other.
But they were both first-round picks, respectively, a year after each other. Like, Mike went in the first round in 2011. Marquise went in the first round in 2010. What is it here? Mike was a 2-time All-American at University of Florida, played for Miami and the LA Chargers, and earned 4 Pro Bowls. And you got Marquise. He had the Remington Trophy winner, consensus All-American, 9-time Pro Bowler, and the NFL's 2010s All-Decade Team member. Wow. Dude made the All-Decade team.
Wow. Team Pouncey.
They were nicknamed Team Pouncey in Gainesville. The duo dominated college, played both, earning the SEC Lineman of the Week in 2009, starting in every championship game.
They anchored a high school Lakeland, Florida, three-peat state champions in Florida.
Gross.
Right? Then they continued their momentum together with Urban Meyer at Florida. Like, that is absolutely crazy. Memorable moment, 2008, 2009, both starting together when Florida topped Oklahoma in 2009 BCS title game. And, I mean, let's be honest, boys, true teamwork from prep to principal.
Oh, yeah. Like, the Pouncey brothers were a rare twin powerhouse who anchored the championship offensive lines in the college and in pros. They both had stellar careers. They had the great O-line grit, IQ, family chemistry, highlighting the shows of offensive line heritage, bond, shape, and elite performance. Just dogs.
Just monsters. Loved watching them play.
Oh, just awesome. I mean, for me, I was a little kid getting to see them. I love playing Madden. You get out there, you're playing with the Chargers, you're playing with the Dolphins, and you just have the dogs out there blocking for you. So our last little thing we're going to talk about this week, it's a little bit shorter episode. We're not going too crazy. I know last week was a long one. We had a really good chat, really, really long one. But I want to talk about a couple of comments I seen out there, I try to respond to all of them. I'm mainly the one that responds on social media, mainly the one going through. Big one for me, though, I posted a little snippet of our Wheel of Teams last week. And, there was someone that was a little bit unhappy about Robbie's pick over here, and where he picked Cam Jurgens over Lane Johnson. And so he's gonna defend his choice. He's gonna let you guys understand why he made that pick.
I did it again, and I'm gonna say it again why I absolutely did it. I look at Cam Jurgens like he sees through my eyes. And when I see him blocking, and especially run blocking, when I see him run blocking, I know that's the guy that I would put myself in and say, hey, I could fill those shoes if I had NFL talent. And I just love the way that he plays. And don't forget, it's just my personal opinion, right? Everyone has due to their personal opinion, and that's just my personal opinion on it. But I do appreciate the feedback, my man. Drop us a name, and we'll send you something cool.
Love it. Now, the other part I wanted to say was, lately I've been getting a lot of young guys on there. A lot of young guys that, I coach in the community, and so a lot of my kids are out there. They're making comments. They're seeing what's out there, and so I love seeing that kind of stuff. I think one of them said last week that he's the young Aaron Donald in the making. And it's cool to see stuff like that where these kids think that highly of themselves, because I think that they can be those guys. They can be those dogs. And if you don't think that every day of the week, if you don't genuinely think that you're the best out there, and you're trying to be the best and get better every week, then you can't be out there. I need you guys understanding that. You have to genuinely believe in your heart of hearts that you're a dog. And we put you in those positions because we know you're a dog. We can see that in you. We can see the grind in you. We can see the love in you. We can see the ability of you wanting to go downhill and just absolutely decleat somebody off the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's magic.
You got a passion for championships? It starts before you get to the football field. And if that's what your passion is and you want to win championships, you can't just show up on, after a summer of sitting around doing nothing and expect to go win a championship. It takes a lot of work to be a champion. You know what? I seen a clip of Tom Brady, and he said, you know what? I wish everybody played football. And he said, for the sheer simple fact that football is hard. It's hard to wake up in the summer and go work out when you know your friends are just sitting around the pool and they're doing nothing, eating cheeseburgers. And that one thing with Tom Brady really stuck in my brain is to say, hey, I got to do this. It's not just me. This is for my team. I got to be better for my team.
I'm going to share a little story, and, I'm not going to say names out here. It's the public podcast and stuff like that, and coaching kids. I'm not going to say names or anything else, but there's this young man. So I started coaching on the Broncos, where I was, an offensive line coach, and, I got to pick this young kid when he was coming into grade 8 as a rookie, coming out of Pee Wee football. He was a little shy, a little nervous, but the snaps were just there. And I'll tell you, I pushed him into that starting role when he was coming in as a rookie. Absolutely destroyed, dominated as a rookie. It was unreal. So next season comes across, and this kid worked his butt off. And he comes across and has had his grade 9 season on the Broncos. Just amazing. He was out there. I think we talked about it a few times where we threw a pick, and he was out there making these open field tackles, lighting kids up as much as he could. He's blocking safeties. He's blocking backers. Whatever you needed, he's out there blocking it. And then to see this week, getting to see him get onto a select team. In Alberta, we run from U16s, U17s, U18s. And so to see him make that team and to see that there's other coaches that understand how good this kid is, it makes me so happy, because I'll tell you, congratulations is beyond words. I mean, to see a kid like this, and I'm telling you, on the field is the biggest dog you could imagine, but off the field is the nicest, most coachable kid you could ever see. And to me, it's so cool getting to see kids like that go further and make it in football, because, there was another kid that I coached as well too, where, switching positions off. He was a linebacker, and I got to pull him into some defensive line at the high school level. And he killed it, dude. Like, I'm talking 1 month of playing defensive line, and this kid's getting reps, playing in our provincial quarterfinal game, just being an absolute dog. And then I get to see him go out this offseason here, and he's making the U17s roster and stuff like that, where it's so unreal to see the kids that are so coachable.
And plus, he's a Raiders fan. Like, let's not forget about that.
but I'm just saying, like, it's so nice to see the kids that are off the field with the best kids, where they're just so coachable and so loved and just such a good kid, and then to see him on the field do the successful things they need to do and just be a dog. It makes my heart so happy as a coach. And that's what I coach for. I coach to see those kids be successful. I want to see those kids go to university. I want to see them play junior football. I want to see them be the next guy up there in the list, because I think they can do it. And when they believe they can do it, it makes the world. Like, I had that kid playing defensive end. He was nervous in the offseason telling me stuff, and I had to look at him and be like, buddy, I promise you this, we believe in you. You just got to believe in you. Once a kid believes that and they understand that we believe in them too, oh man, it's insane. So
do you know that want and knowing that you can walk over across that line and absolutely put the fear of God into the next guy across from you. And the only way you can do that is if you have 100% self-belief.
Now, on top of that, I'm going to say both those kids, both of them, come back and help coach and do the things and help the programs that they played for because they love the game so much and they want to see the next generation be as successful as they are.
That's right.
So that is the coolest thing.
In my eyes, that's the most important thing. Somebody gave to you, make sure you give back to somebody else.
Oh yeah, hands down. So that's the main meat and potatoes of the podcast episode today, guys. We're going to hit a quick wrap up here. So, final thoughts and predictions of upcoming NFL events. I think that these next few weeks in these mini training camps, the mandatory training camps, you're going to see a lot of guys really get their shine outs, really get their shout outs where they need to be at. I think you're going to see a lot of success happen out of that as well, too, where you're going to see guys that, they're going to earn those starting spots. They're going to earn those roles as well. So that's going to be awesome to see.
Bengals, don't forget to pay Hendrickson. Let's be honest here. We mainly talk about O-line, but you'd be absolutely crazy off your mind if you do not pay that man.
Well, not even Hendrickson. Look at that rookie situation they got going on. They got that rookie DN they drafted, and they got some
neither here nor there.
They got some fancy contract, but they got some fancy contract lingo where they're trying to swindle this kid and trying to make the contract, the words on the documents start making sense to him. And he just wants some clarity. There's a couple things in there that he just wants set up, and you know what it is. It's the guaranteed
100%.
money. They're trying to mess around with this kid's money, and they're trying to make it so he can't have his guaranteed money. And unfortunately, the NFL world changed. If you don't offer guaranteed money to guys, like I've heard rumors where he might just sit in the draft and sit it out and wait.
I heard he might, because apparently if you get drafted and you don't sign your contract, you can re-enter the draft the next year.
And that team can't draft you again.
Oh.
That's the one biggest thing, is that team that drafted you can't draft you a second time.
That's cool.
So we're going to sign off here again. Guys, I really want to thank you for listening in. Like, subscribe, follow, see us on all the socials. We're on the Talk Ticks. We're on all of it. I like this old man joke. That's where I'm at right now with it. And we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube Reels as well, too. So, check us out. Hit a like. Subscribe on there. We're trying to build it up on there. We're trying to build more subscribers so we can get more info on there and just get this thing booming.
Yeah, thanks for the comments. I want to say to that one guy, thanks for shooting me out, calling me out. Really appreciate your comment. And, yeah, keep watching our stuff. Shoot us some comments. Shoot us some questions.
Love it. All right, guys, we're signing off. Thanks for listening. Again, I'm Preston. This is Robbie. This is your football news.